Welcome back, guys. So in this video we are going to be covering the put request or update request. So the next thing that we're going to do here is just make some space here, and we're just going to comment. That way we keep everything organized, and we will jot down update. Let's make update blog. Okay, perfect. So now what we're going to do is we are going to start. So we're going to, as this pattern that you're seeing, it's going to be the same pattern pretty much. App, but it just takes time to try to understand it. Okay, so we're going to use the Express app once again here. And instead of using get or post, we're going to use put, because it's a put request to make an update. Okay, so we're going to use the Express app to put. Okay, and since we are making a put request, it's going to require that we use the ID as well. So the ID we need for the put request, patch request, and delete request, as well as we saw in the previous videos, the get blogs by the ID as well. But if you're just looking for all the blogs, you don't really need the ID. Okay, as we saw here. So let's just go back. So we're gonna enter /blogs and then /ID, just as we did over here. Okay. So with the information there, we're going to request and respond with it to get the information, and respond with the information to do something. And then the first thing that we're going to ask is for the ID, because once again, we're asking for the information. Okay, for the ID, sorry. Okay, so make variable const ID, just as we did over here. And then can you guess what the next thing is? Which is request.params. Okay, once again, we're requesting the ID, which is the parameter here. Now we're going to request the body. Okay, so in order to do that, we do const, and then as we did over here, and over actually we didn't need it here. So, yep. So as we did it over here, we're going to request it, right? Because that's what we're going to request in order to tell it that's what we need to update. So we're going to do title, preview, and post to make the blog. Okay, and then we're going to equal it to rec.body or request.body. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do here is, remember, put everything in one basket, put all your eggs in one basket. So we're going to create the variable, and this one we're going to call updated blog. Okay, so after this, we are just going to equal it to, can you take a guess? If you got blog, you're right on track here. So we're going to equal it to blog here. And if you ask why blog, it's because of here. We're using the blog variable where we stored all of our schema, our whole schema, including our values, inside of it. Okay, inside of our blog. So we're going to do blog, and similar to what we did here, find by ID, we're going to use the method, but differently, it's going to be the method find by ID and update, since we are going to be making a put request or an update request. Then we're going to call it, and then inside you're just going to pass in the ID. And once again, because we're looking for the ID, and now you can also input the value. So title, preview, and post. Okay. So once we have that, we just make another line here and then add the value, because we want the value to be true. Just like that. Okay. And that's pretty much it. So now we want it to render. And how do we render it? So we then want to pass it in updated blog here to JSON format, to respond in JSON format. Okay, and the message that we want, if it's successful, is its blog was successfully updated. Okay, let me just make this here. So created. Okay. And as everything, as always, we want to make sure that there are no errors. So we want to catch any errors and render this message. That way we can take a look and see what's going on. Okay. unable to update blog, colon, and then tell us why, please. Why the error. Okay, so perfect. So we have that, and pretty much let's go and test it out. So let's go to our Postman here, and let's just go back to the beginning here. So we're gonna get all of our posts here. Perfect. So in order to make an update, you are going to use the ID. So let's use this one here, right? We're gonna use this ID for the Mondays. Copy, and the same thing as we did with the get by ID, we're going to / and just paste it in. Okay. So now, since we already have this pre-filled, we don't have to do anything else. But so let's just make sure that we change the get request to not post, but a put request. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to change, let's say, Mondays to Fridays, right? So we want the title to be called Fridays. And then actually, let's just take this whole thing out. Fridays are awesome. Okay, and why? Because it is almost, oh, I can't even spell today, almost the weekend. Okay, perfect. So let's see if it works now. So we should see this here when we're getting it now. We should see this turn into this. Okay. But now once we click send, if everything's good, it'll give us this. Blog was successfully updated. And if not, we'll get this message. Unable to update blog. There we go. Okay. So let's take a look. Send. And perfect. Look at that, guys. So blog was successfully updated. So let's double check to see if it works. So actually we can just leave that. And then now we can use our get request, since we already were able to get by ID, and we can just press send. And now look at that, guys. Fridays are awesome because it is almost the weekend. Look at that, guys. So it already changed, and it's pretty simple, right? So once you're able to just remember and try to keep up with the muscle memory, it'll definitely click sooner than later, right? Because everything's pretty much the same. As you see, we've already done 4 requests, and they're all pretty much the same, except that we're using different things to plug in and plug out. But you just got to remember what the reason is that you're doing things, right? So if everything's the same, you want to make sure you're asking, like for this here, for the get blogs by ID. You want to make sure you're getting the blogs by ID. Why? Because you're specifying the ID. That way you can make a profile page. Right, so you're requesting the parameter, which is the ID here. Okay, so it's just trying to read what everything does, and I really honestly, like, as soon as you just try to put that in your brain, like what this does and what this does, this does, it'll definitely get much better. Okay. And that's what definitely helped me out. You know, just keeping on doing these types of projects until I build muscle memory, and until you actually understood, not just wrote, you know, what you see or what might it be without really knowing. Just understand why everything is. Okay. And I promise that will definitely help. So perfect. So now we have the update blog, so we're able to make updates to our blogs. And the next video is going to be our last request, which is going to be a delete request. So guys, I will see you in the next video.